Good afternoon. Excuse me. This is Lindsay, and it's April 16th, 2021, and it's Friday here in Texas, San Antonio. Um okay, so here I am doing a video. I thought I'd talk about today more about narcissism and narcissistic tactics and little things that they will do, at least people with these kinds of qualities, okay, tendencies of narcissistic people. They might not be a full-blown narcissist per se, but you are starting to you recognize that that person has a lot of qualities. It might be kind of low spectrum narcissism, you know, definitely something that's on the low spectrum end of a narcissist. And well, okay, with my experience, many years, I've had a lot of experience in the dating arena and relationships, and with my family background and whatnot, you know, growing up around narcissistic abuse and narcissistic people and being in those kinds of environments, I feel quite familiar with it. And so therefore I feel that I can speak on the topic with and give myself proper credibility for my own experience, and yes, my own knowledge as well, because I do plenty of research about the topic and about abnormal psychology, about gang stalking, and things like this. And unfortunately, right now, the people are just trying to kind of get by in whatever ways they can. We have a lot of desperate people out there who've literally sold their souls to the devil to become these gang stalkers. You know, working for the minions of Satan or whoever to become these annoying gang stalkers, and they will pretty much stop at nothing to destroy the target, to destroy your credibility, your ability to have a job, to hold a job, to have an income, things like this. And this is a very serious situation because they ruin your life a lot of the time. And like I said, I know because I've gone through this myself. Okay, I've been through vindictive, horrendous, malevolent, atrocious, insidious smear campaigns, of which I've been victimized by a few times. No longer am I the victim, though. I'm the survivor. I'm a warrior, but I have gone through all that stuff in the past. So it does exist. It is real, and this is something that a narcissistic person, if they don't get their way with you, once that relationship or whatever, that business partnership, whatever kind of relationship you might have with that person, once that comes to a halt, they're not done with you. They're going to continue to, that's when the smear campaign starts, when they send in their flying monkeys and, excuse me, my nose kind of itches and all that nonsense, but whatever. So, you know my background. For those people who do know, I'm a targeted, what they call an empowered or targeted individual. Yeah, I prefer to call it empowered individual. I don't like that word targeted individual. It's just don't like it. I think that it's more accurate. A more accurate description would be an empowered individual, because we have more insight about in a better perspective of what's going on. And so therefore people such as myself get targeted because I am a so-called threat to somebody's establishment, some kind of corrupt system, and I've been that way for years, and I keep running my mouth because I'm outspoken and I don't shut up, and so I become a target. And yes, by the way, I am getting gang stalked still. I'm still getting mobbed on a daily basis. Maybe it's a little less visible. I guess I could use the word incredulous, but basically what I'm trying to say is it's not as blatant. Yet it's still going on. It's a little bit more subtle, I guess is the right word. So I just ignore it, as much as I can, because obviously the more you react, the more you're feeding the animals. It's a frenzy. It's a feeding frenzy, and they just want to suck away your energy and get supply from you, being if you're the target or victim of this kind of nonsense, and that's how they get their supply. That's how they get their energy, is by zapping you of what you have so that they can feed off of that and get their energy supply. But let's talk a little bit. Let me talk a little bit today about something that's happens a lot in today's day and age with relationships, because of what we have, the social media, right? I mean, everybody pretty much has a Facebook account, or they have a whatever the fuck Twitter thing. I don't know Twitter. I don't know about that, or Instagram. Whatever social media account that people have. Everybody, mostly, well, not everybody, but most people have an account or two, right, on social media. And this social media is one of the main, as most people are aware, it's one of the main tools that a narcissist is going to use to get control over you, to maybe get you to react, to get you jealous, or to get power over you, or whatever their reasoning might be. But they will use social media as one of their main tools to target you. Whoever that person is, if you're in a relationship with them, or maybe you're in the devaluation stage of that relationship, where, as we all know, in the narcissistic relationship, what we have, the love bombing, which can last a few weeks, a few months, anywhere, several months, and then it starts to kind of the devaluation stage, right? Because something happens where y'all get into some kind of a disagreement, or a little fight, or an argument, and so you've caused maybe a minor narcissistic injury that they're not going to kind of let go of. They're going to continue to use that against you, and then that's when the devaluation phase of the relationship starts, and you're going to notice that things are changing. It's different. And things seem a little bit different, and then that's when, after that, starts more devaluation, degrading, humiliation, and then it becomes and then it's a discard usually. That's how they work. These relationships don't last most of the time. Narcissistic people are not. They are always looking for something new, something more challenging, something more exciting. They get bored easily, and so they are never able to settle with what they have, because they are constantly on the prowl for a better source of supply. You might be a great source of supply for them, but guess what? I'm here to tell you that it's gonna get old for them. They're gonna get bored, and they're gonna move on to someone else, and they're gonna discard you, and you're gonna become the secondary source of supply, or tertiary, and they're going to get put on the shelf, the harem closet, or whatever, and that's that. But remember, narcissistic relationships don't end. There's never really an ending. There's never a closure. If there's an ending, usually they just drag on and act like, oh, well, let me go find that person because they're still in the harem garage, and let me see what's going on with them, and try to hit them up because such and such, we're not going so well right now, and I'm kind of feeling lonely, and, let me see if I can hit so-and-so up. That's what they do. So they keep all their supply, right? They don't really, you may have been discarded years ago, and then they come back to Hoover, but they don't ever, you notice how narcissistic people, okay, mostly a lot of men, they can't let go of a past relationship, or as women as well, but a lot of times they are not able to let go of a marriage that failed, or a past relationship that went sour. They cannot let go. They have to hang on to that, and they still feel that you are a part of them, that you are an object to them for their usage or control, and they really have a very difficult time letting go of something. Some people are able, like with me, for example, something's over, it's over. I'm not going to try to go back to a boyfriend from 15 years ago. I don't care how good the relationship was or how many years I spent with that person. I'm not going back to my past. I'm not going back to a past lover, because it's never going to be the same, and it's going to end up being worse, okay? Because in my opinion, personally, When something is over, it's over. It ended for a reason. There's no point in trying to go back and fix something. If you did try that at one stage and it didn't work, well, why go back and keep trying to fix it? It's not meant to be. Okay? A lot of us are able to see it that way. We know that it's over and that it's a past, and we get on and we don't keep them in our Facebook. We don't keep them in our phone. We don't want to have anything to do with these toxic people. Some of them are not toxic, but some of them are toxic. Why would we want to have anything to do with these people from our past? Why? I mean, I for one don't. I don't know why some people do, but they do. Whatever, okay? But it's not healthy to try to constantly keep tabs on your ex-boyfriends or whatever, or ex-girlfriends, because if you do that, you know that you're never going to be able to move on to something new that might be better for you, because you're closing all the doors to a better opportunity when you're still attached to an ex. And that's the bottom line. Get rid of it, get it over with, and move on, is my best advice for those of you who just can't let go of whatever that trauma bond attachment is that you still have with that person. You know, move on and sweep it under the rug and get over it. And if you can't get over it, then that means you're not ready for a new relationship. You're obviously not ready for something new if you can't get over the past. Now, so what they'll use these social media such as Facebook and whatnot is to turn it into a competition. They want to see you, maybe you're the girlfriend or the love interest or somebody, whoever, of this person. They want to watch you fight and compete over them like children. They want to watch you. They want to get you jealous by, this is how fucking stupid. That's why I hate Facebook personally. It destroys so many relationships, in my opinion, because of all the jealousy and the triangulation that this shit creates. Because inevitably, you're with somebody new, right? Yeah, you've been dating now for, I don't know, several months, whatever. Y'all are intimate, you spend time together. That person has been in your house. That person knows your vulnerabilities. They see you, the way you live. And all of a sudden, okay. Of course, y'all are friends on Facebook, for example. Or Instagram, Facebook, I guess. I don't, whatever. And you notice that that they have all these followers, or maybe they follow a bunch of people, and maybe these people are like women who are, they look like they are titty models or models of some kind, or some kind of webcam girls or whatever, and you notice that your significant other is following these women and putting little hearts and likes on their photos and making comments and shit, and you're gonna pay attention because you're intimate with that person. So fuck yeah, you're gonna pay attention to this stuff because you want to know. You're still trying to get to know this person. You don't even know if you can fully trust them or not, or you're developing trying to develop trust with that person, but you keep finding that they've got all these like mystery women and people who are, a lot of them are ex-girlfriends or from their past, and it's like, and you feel like, well, are they doing that to try to get me jealous? Are they doing it to try to make me compete or turn it into, some kind of a fight or a competition? What's up with that? It's all designed to cause chaos and confusion for you. I'll tell you right now, they love to play these asinine, ridiculous, mundane, adolescent, childish games. That's what they do. Yeah, they do, because I have been through this many a time in my past, and it's always to get you to react. It's always to make you jealous, okay? And the best approach to this, by the way, is you simply ignoring it and don't react and don't play into their game. Don't just act like you don't give a shit, If you react to it, that's what they want. Because why? Because you're giving them supply. But if you don't react and act like it's not going on, and like, just let him have, let him have that girl, or let her have him, If that's your attitude towards it, then that's going to make them fail at their own little game. Okay, they're going to realize that, oh, this tactic is not really working so well on her. Maybe I need to change my game up or something. Because really, like I said, I mean, as crazy as this shit sounds, it's really true. It's meant to make you, confused. They want to watch you fight over them because narcissists love being the center of attention. They need attention from you. Might be a great lover, a great friend, a great companion, and all this stuff for them, but it's not going to be enough because they are in constant need of attention, admiration, being glorified, being put on a pedestal. Narcissists love attention. It's never that's why they are notorious for cheating. They cannot stay faithful or loyal to one person because they need constant attention and approval from other sources of supply, whether it be the fucking girl at the grocery store, pardon my language, at the gas station, or the guy, if you're a girl and it's a guy at the gas station who you've got, whatever the fuck it is, when you're a narcissist, you are always looking for attention and acceptance and adoration and, yeah, and it's human nature. Yes, it's human nature for us to want to feel loved, appreciated, given, when we get compliments and whatnot. But when it's blown out of proportion and you just are never satisfied with what's in front of you, then there's a problem, right? There's a problem in that relationship. Then you need to maybe reevaluate the situation and maybe reconsider that relationship, because as adults, I don't think adults like these kinds of games. It might be okay for teenagers, kids, people in their 20s, but even then, I don't think this is something that most people are going to tolerate for very long. You're going to find that when you're involved with these people, it's like constantly walking on eggshells. Okay, you feel like you've got to do all these things to impress them. You feel like you always have to make them happy. You feel like, oh no, what did I do? Or why are they not happy? Or how can I make them feel more comfortable? Or please them. You're always wanting to please them. But you're going to find that it turns into an exhausting effort on your end. Why? Because they're just not satisfied ever, very seldom. They might be for a little while, but just like anything else, they want a new toy. They see that shiny new toy in the window at the store when they're walking by, and they decide they've got to have that one. Okay, they've got to have a new toy, a shiny new object for them, and you're not going to cut it. You're just not going to be good enough, mostly, for them. It doesn't matter how pretty you are, how successful or whatever. It's not going to be good enough for very long. And that's just the way this is. And fuck social media in a lot of ways, because thanks to social media, even though I too have a fucking Facebook profile, it's one of the main reasons why so many marriages fail, relationships fail, so many problems are created because of Facebook and other toxic social media sites that, you start to realize your partner is more interested in doing all that shit when you're supposed to be spending time with them. They're more interested in hanging out on Facebook and, checking to see who likes them and shit like that. And you realize that's all they really care about. So you feel kind of stupid. That has happened in the past with me, and it's very annoying. It's very annoying. And I had told myself at one point, I'm never going to get involved with another guy who is that much into Facebook or some silly social media shit, because it's just fucking problematic and it adds chaos to any healthy relationship. So these relationships can be very volatile, chaos. Nothing's ever easy. It's a work. It's constantly working to try to appease them, or you feel like it's constantly, you've got to appease them. You gotta make them happy, right? It's volatile. It's stressful. It's up and down. It's riddled with jealousy. They triangulate with you using other sources of supply from the past or new people. They will ghost you. And they've always got ghosts from their past who they're going to bring up at some point in the relationship that you're going to find out about, and which is going to cause jealousy. These relationships are filled with infidelity, and it just basically, it's all about triangulation. They love to triangulate. And why, once again, do narcissists triangulate? They do this because they love the drama, and they like you to compete. They want you to feel that you have to compete for their affection, their love, their attention, whatever. They're going to make you compete. They're going to make you fight for it. Okay? They literally want you to fight for that. Do you want to fight? Is it worth the prize? Is that person worth all that energy that you invest in that, or are you going to walk away? You know, that ultimately is going to be your own decision if you find that you may be involved with one of these kinds of people. Because, like I said, in the past, I've been involved with that kind of thing, and it is no fun. It's draining, it's debilitating, and it's very, very confusing and hurtful. And so you have to see it for what it is and trust your instincts. And if it's too much if you see that they're doing these weird games that are clearly meant to make you react or get you jealous, and what are you doing with that kind of shit? Why are you putting up with it? Ask yourself that. Why? Is that what you want? If that's what you want, then fine. But if you don't want to deal with that, then your only best bet is to sayonara laters, you know, walk away, because it might just get worse. I have some notes that I'm looking at, by the way. So, you know, narcissistic people cultivate jealousy. They're very good at that. That's what they do. They cultivate. They cultivate jealousy, and it's usually either intentionally or inadvertently, but mostly it's intentional. It's mostly well calculated, very intentional what they're doing. You're going to notice that, you know, they're going to be very, very. They're not going to. They're opaque. They're very kind of. Is that the word? They're not going to want you to know what they're up to, okay? They keep a lot of secrets from you. Like, for example, you know, people who have to have their phone with them at all times when you're around them. They take their phone with them in the shower, when they go to the bathroom and things like this, or they hide their phone. They're constantly on their phones. I mean, that's another big red flag that, maybe something else is going on here that I don't know about. Or, you know what I mean? Yeah, they just can't detach themselves from that phone. Why? Because that phone is their link to the social media or whatever app they have that they're getting their supply from. And so they've got to have that thing constantly looking at their phone to see who texted me, who's, you know. Yeah, so if they're still doing that and you're in a relationship with them, then you know what? That means that they're involved with other people. You're not the only one, and don't believe that you are for a minute, because obviously you're not. And they want you to think that you are, but you're seeing all these red flags that are indicative of them clearly communicating with others, while you may think that you're their girlfriend or whatever. They've got others. Just like I said, they've always got to have a backup, because they already kind of in their minds know that it's not going to work out. They know that what's going to happen at some point down the road, so they want to be prepared for that's when, like I said, this is when all the discard, this is when the devaluation and the discard's already going on. You know something's up, you feel it, and it's like, you know, maybe you've said something to them about it, maybe not, but they know that you know. They know that you know what's up. They know. They sense it. Like I said, it's meant to make you jealous. They want you to react. Social media for them is like it's a playground, because they're getting all this validation from all these people who, putting hearts by their picture and likes and whatnot. It's validation, constant validation for them, constant source of supply. I had at one point with Facebook is so I really, the only reason I'm on there is because I'm a targeted individual and I network with other TIs, but that's pretty much all. And I used to post things like that on my Facebook, but I can't stand it personally when people comment on any photos that I put on there or this, that, and the other. It makes me feel kind of, I don't like that. And I had even tried to block anybody, I don't care who they are, from leaving any kind of comments on any photos that I post or whatnot, because I don't want to know. I don't want to know what they like or if they like my picture or not, because it makes me feel, in a way, violated or uncomfortable when I have a bunch of strangers, people on my Facebook that I don't know, liking my photo, putting hearts, I love you. That's uncomfortable. I don't like that. And I've had that issue where it's like you're being cyber stalked. Sexually harassed via social media is not a comfortable feeling. And that's another reason I cannot stand Facebook. There's a lot of predatory, perverted men and people on there, and it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. It can be. So, it's a coy little game, though, that narcissists will play using their social media as a tool to triangulate with you. They're if you're in a relationship with them. So you never really know. It's like you even though you really want to take them seriously, you want to take this relationship seriously, and to you, it's a serious relationship, but you just can't quite figure out why do they have, at their age, why do they have to play these kinds of games? Why do they have multiple Facebook profiles under different names that they say are not active? Or you'll find that they have secret profiles. These are things that you're going to eventually discover on down the line in these relationships, and it's going to really cause you to feel, either upset, frustrated, insecure, or angry, depressed, whatever, if you let it get too much. But when you realize that, like I said, these people all kind of have similar tactics that they use, and if you can recognize that for what is going on, then it's not going to affect you as much, because you see it for what it is. So, yeah, by you being jealous and reacting to all this stuff and confronting them about it, for example, their Facebook or whatever, that is what gives them supply. They want that. Even if it's a form of negative supply, you're still feeding them supply. So, just don't do it. Yeah, you feel like when you're in these kinds of narcissistic relationships that it's a constant, that you're constantly being set up of this feeling jealousy and wondering about what's going on and wondering about their past partners and why they're keeping in contact with them and all that. So it's a constant feeling of you being insecure and wondering what's going on, and they want that. And this is very unhealthy for you to always feel that you have to. What you should be able to trust. If you're with somebody and if you can't trust them, that's not good. You don't need to feel like you need to constantly be wondering about why are they talking to their ex still and what's going on with that. But they want you to feel constantly having to wonder, and whenever you start to question them about that, then they accuse you, they project, and then they accuse you of being insecure. You're the one who's got a problem, and this, that, and the other, when in fact they're the ones who are doing it to you. Okay? And you have the right, if you're with somebody in a relationship, that you have the right to ask these kinds of questions, and you have the right to feel this way, because it's a normal reaction. But they see it as being normal for them to keep in constant contact with an ex-girlfriend from what, it's to them it's normal. They don't see it as being problematic. But for you, you might see that as being a red flag. And hopefully so, because it's not, like I said, unless you're into these weird kinds of like threesomes or swingers and whatnot, then most people are not going to constantly stay in contact with their exes on social media. Okay, they just don't. It's not normal. Um, you know, you need to feel like if they're trying to make you compete, which is what they will like to, they do this. If they make you, if you feel like you're really having to compete and fight for this person or their attention, because there's other, the triangulation and the jealousy, you need to realize you don't need to feel like you have to win them over all the time. Let someone else win the prize. Don't feel like that. That's not good for them to make you feel like you have to win them over. You shouldn't have to feel like that in a relationship. That's crazy. So that's enough about that. But I just wanted to give you some, because like I said, I think I've experienced that kind of thing in the past. A few times in the past, and it really is something that is quite it's quite aggravating. And I guess unfortunately nowadays, because of social media and whatnot, people are gonna cheat more. People are gonna be dishonest. They're gonna be doing things behind your back because they feel like you're not gonna ever find out or whatever. But eventually you'll find out. You'll probably find out, and it's gonna make you pissed off. It's gonna make you confused, most likely. So, you either have to deal with it, realize it's part of that relationship and you want to stay in that, or just go walk away or get out of it. It's really, you have to make that final judgment call. But anyway, so if anybody has any questions about anything about narcissistic abuse, about maybe you have something going on in your relationship that you're confused about and you want some advice, maybe you have something going on in your family, a narcissistic sibling, or something that you're going through that has to do with something that is related to this kind of abuse, feel free to contact me via email, and we can talk or whatever. I can try to give you some advice or maybe help you. I don't know. I like I said, I just talk about this kind of thing because I have been through it myself a lot. I've been through it, so I know what it can do to certain people. And so that's it. And that's all for today. Have a nice day.